bum, ba bum, bum. A surprise live here because I'm just kind of bored for the afternoon. All right, this is the Kevin Costner dilemma. There's been multiple stories this week about my man, Kevin Costner. And I'm going to start right there because I said my man, Kevin Costner. And pretty much that is the dilemma. I don't know if I enjoy Kevin Costner or not. That is the dilemma. So, one of the big stories of the week is that Kevin Costner's $100 million Horizon movie is tracking for a worrisome $12 million domestic opening. That's not good. If it costs you $100 million to make, I think you want to try to make up at least half or a good chunk, about 40% would be ideal there on your opening weekend. So I'm sure he would love to get a $40 million, $50 million opening weekend, but it looks like he's probably going to get 12. Fine. I don't think he cares. And that's where part of this dilemma stems from, is that I don't think Kevin Costner gives two craps what his box office opening is. And that's kind of cool. And that's where we start. I think Kevin Costner might be cool, but I also don't know because he also seems like a terrible person sometimes. So we're going to continue on here with this one. So the box office prospects for this one here, yeah, it's Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1. It hit tracking on Tuesday, so that's earlier this week. And one service says, hey, it may only make 12 million bucks, and it's going up against A Quiet Place. I guess there's one of those. What is that? Yeah, I don't know. But so he's putting out this first one, and the second one comes out on August 6th. I think the first one's June 28th. Yeah, and it's opening against A Quiet Place day one. I am unfamiliar with the Quiet Place franchise. I heard the first one was good. How many have there been? Are there more quiet places now than there were previously? I don't know. So it might be the third one. Might be the second one. I don't know. But either way. So Kevin Costner, probably not going to make a lot of money on the first weekend. I don't think he cares. He said that. He was at Cannes Film Festival, and he said, I think something along the lines of, movies are more important than their box office opening. Great. I kind of fully support that. So yeah, the tracking though for A Quiet Place day one that it's going up against that week, 40 million bucks is what it's projected. One caveat though, all the tracking sucks. So Hollywood Reporter here is the story I'm basically going off of. Tracking has been off its game of late, creating additional angst for an already troubled box office. Dun dun dun. But the interesting thing about this Costner thing is that it is a gamble. The Horizon film is among the biggest gambles of the year and is a passion project for the guy who put up 38 million bucks of his own money into the project to pursue his vision of the West. That's the other thing. This leads me to my other dilemma. I don't know. I don't know if Kevin Costner's the best guy to be telling the story of the West. I know he likes Westerns. It's been a long time since I've watched Dances with Wolves. I'm sure he's done other Western type films or something like that. But I mainly know him from like Tin Cup, Field of Dreams, Untouchables, stuff like that. Hidden Figures, more recent work, stuff like that. So Draft Day, of course. Played, I believe, in NFL GM. Maybe he was the owner. I'm used to Dallas where we have the owner GM at the same time, so it's tough. So either way, that's part of my next dilemma. One, Costner seems cool as shit because he put up a bunch of his own money. It's pretty baller. He doesn't seem to care that his movie's going to open and not make a lot of money. Might be insane, but also pretty cool at the same time. I have to respect it. But then, yes, the other dilemma, I don't know that I want him telling the tale of the West for us all. And I don't know that he's a necessarily good guy because he has been through a lot of weird stuff lately. So the other big gamble is that he's putting out a movie that opens June 28th, and then the second chapter of it opens less than 2 months later. So what was the exact date up there? I forgot. August 6th. Yeah. So less than 2 months later. He's expecting you to try to like get hooked on the first one so much that you have to go back and see the next one. But I don't know if it's going to be on demand quickly. I'll probably wait to watch all four at home. And that's mean for me. Maybe I should go see it, but I feel like if I miss the first one, That's you're going to have to put the first one on VOD before the second one hits, even if not just to make some money. So anyway, it does indicate here that a large chunk of the budget financed through foreign sales, whereby rights are sold off territory by territory. So yeah, beyond the domestic money they have been able to finance, and beyond the money that he's put in himself, it has paid for itself where you can sell it off to other foreign territories, like they're saying, where it's like, hey, people in this market, they're going to buy a Kevin Costner film no matter what, so they'll kick in $1 million. Let's see here. Westerns are for older peeps, and most people aren't going to go to take their kids to a movie like that. I agree. I'll put it up there. That's what I foresee happening here is like, I know Horizon's going to come out. Do I think I'm going to drag my butt to a theater to see Horizon? I don't know that I'm going to drag my butt to a theater to see Horizon. Maybe. And if I do see the first one, I think I got a better shot at seeing the second one. So I applaud his gamble here. Don't know if it's going to work. So Costner has 2 more films planned after that, old Chapter 3 and 4. Apparently he started filming on 3, but needs more funds to complete his vision. Quote, I don't want to let this pile of things I have, whether it's money, whether it's possessions, be so important to me that I can't think about what I want to do. And kind of a badass. I feel like if I ran into Costner, he would probably treat me like a piece of garbage. He would probably treat me like trash. I don't think he would be very nice to me. But some of the stuff he says, I'm like, I kind of respect what he's doing. So Costner told that to a bunch of reporters at Cannes there, explaining why he put his own money into the movie. Quote, I'm going to keep enough things that my family's going to be good. I'd like to have money. I'd like to have nice things. But I thought to myself, that's going to control me if I let it. All right, there's where I don't feel bad for Costner at all. And he sounds like an asshole again. So even if Costner goes broke, he'll be fine. Costner has been on a TV show. Like, he could just go do another TV show. He'll find a way to make more money. So I'm not worried about Costner losing his buck. Droopy Dog here. Look at this. What do you believe is the state of cinema? Very tricky, and there's plenty of people way smarter than me that are legitimately in the industry that have to deal with this question a lot more of do we meet our audiences where they are? So like Horizon and like Leonard just mentioned there. If you're not going to take your kids to the movie theater to see this movie, do you just meet your audience at home on demand 20 days later because they're going to watch it, or they might pay for it? You got a better shot of putting it there. Otherwise, they don't see it for 6 months, and then it's guaranteed they don't go to number 2. So I think that's what a lot of people are struggling with. Movies feel like they have to be an event nowadays, so eventizing certain movies is going to be hard. There are lots of movies that are not events. Like we mentioned there, If is not an event. I saw If in theaters the first weekend, but I've got 2 kids, and I enjoyed it. It was not an event movie to me. It was, hey, somebody asked, what do you want to go see? Planet of the Apes or If? And I looked at the runtime. Like, this is how I legitimately think about cinema, unfortunately, when it comes to going to theaters. If it's a movie I love, I'm going to go if it's 3 or 4 hours long. Doesn't matter. I love it. I'm in. If beyond that, it's going to be, what do I need to see visually? Planet of the Apes is fine VFX wise. So for people who love visual effects and need to see it in the theater, great. They'll probably pick that. I've got kids, so hey, let's go If on this one. So that's where I went, and none of those were an event to me. I know Kingdom of Planet of the Apes overperformed for, I think, what it was projected to, and I did end up seeing that 2 weeks later. I don't even know if it's Kingdom. It might be another one. But there's too many damn ape movies. But it was fine. It was a lot of apes. It was fine. But so I think the state of cinema is it's hard to get people to spend their money to go to the theater. This is what's tough. I think there are a lot of personal, not issues, but personal preferences that prevent people from going to the theater. And I lump myself into this as well. I get kind of bougie now when I go to the theater because they have made it such an experience to get drinks and get other stuff to where Now I might go to fewer films because I know how good the experience can be versus maybe when I would go catch a movie at a dollar theater 20 years ago when you know the seats suck, but that's your only way to see that movie that came out 4 or 5 months ago. So I could certainly see how it bends back the other way and you don't meet people where they are and you just make everything stay in theaters for 6 months no matter what. It's 180 days on your first run. Get people in there and either have them pay their money and either, if it's out of the main theaters or out of the primary screens in 2 months, great. It didn't move well and then it's got 4 months in dollar theaters or secondary theaters. But now there's fewer of those where you can exhibit secondary movies or, movies that have been in theaters for 4 to 6 months. So I think the project's going to go on demand at 2 months like they've been doing. Long term, people may have to take pay cuts. I think that's what it'll be. Working in the music industry for years, you can hear people talk about it. It's, hey, in 1997, you could have one song and you could move a lot of units for $10 a pop because they had to be a CD. And 4 years later, if you had one good song and you're trying to make money, you're now competing with free stuff on Napster. And now you're selling one song for 99 cents. So the same 10 million units isn't going to make it the same money. And I think that may be what happens to Hollywood to a degree is there will just be a lot of belt tightening for the next bit. And it'll probably bend back where what that typically does is it weeds out people that are in it for the profit and it puts back people that are in it for the love of it. And hopefully they, sorry. And hopefully they come out top and come out on top and they get financing from people who still do own studios because the studios aren't going to go away. It's just what are the studios going to commit their money to? What do they think people are going to show up to the theaters for? And hopefully it's not just franchise after franchise after franchise. Because I know out this week is Bad Boys 5, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5. I don't know. And even I looked earlier. I was like, hey, maybe I'll go check out that Bad Boys film. Even though I haven't seen 2 of them, I'd like to support the theater industry. So, we'll see. That is the state of cinema. I will now hide that comment. So, yes, that's the thing about Horizon Chapter 1 and 2 there. They come out pretty quick this summer. Oh, Deadpool v. Wolverine. Woo. That'll be a big one in the middle of the summer. Admittedly, I am not a superhero film watcher, but that will likely probably win. That might legitimately win the summer in terms of just what made the most money in the summer season there. But I know Inside Out 2 is coming. I know it's sad that might win, but some of those kids' films pop, especially late summer. So who knows? I got to look at the full list of what all's coming out because there is some decent stuff. So I'll go pull that up before next time. Anyway, so the other dilemma here, Kevin Costner. Another article came out this week that said he was, quote, excluded after an unlikely request while taking cocaine. Okay. And I saw one headline that said, taking cocaine was kind of lucky for me, says Kevin Costner. Interesting way to spin the story. So let's dig in here. So basically what happened here is that the Cosman said that he felt excluded. And this also plays into my dilemma. Remember, Costner seems kind of cool. I'll tell you, I love him in Tin Cup, Field of Dreams, a little sappy. I haven't watched it in a while. JFK, solid performance there. Bull Durham, all the sports movies, that's all fine. Love the game. That's great. Like I said, Hidden Figures, some good later stuff. But he's mainly a Tin Cup man for me. And I love it. But that does not mean I think he's great. So now we go to this, where it says he felt excluded after he made an unusual request to one of his colleagues when they were doing cocaine together. So already you're like, badass. Costner sounds like a real Hollywood kind of guy back in the 70s, 80s here. So it says the Hollywood actor sat down and he's promoting Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of Horizon, sorry. And he went into detail about being offered cocaine while he was working on film sets at the beginning of his Hollywood career. So beginning of his career, let's go all the way back. 1981. So this wouldn't have been 70s, sorry, early 80s. Malibu Hot Summer was his first role. That's got 2.7 stars on IMDb. I am unfamiliar with Malibu Hot Summer. He played the character John Logan. So that's an introducing, I don't know if it's actually introducing, but legitimately his first credited role here on IMDb. A fabulous Malibu beach house is the setting for Sin in Sun, as a trio of lovely ladies find love in LA over one sizzling summer. All right. I don't know if this is a porn, but man, there are jugs galore on this cover here. Man, I'm not screen sharing. I might have to just for this. All right. I didn't anticipate this going on here. Hold on. Let me get my screen share up. Yeah. Share the screen over here. Share this screen. Go with that guy. I mean, look at this thing. Malibu Hot Summer. I am very unfamiliar with Malibu Hot Summer's work, but it is a full-on jug band all across this thing here. It's a jug parade. My, oh my. All right. Take it back. So yeah, he was saying that maybe he didn't indicate that it was on set of this, but actor told the host on this podcast he was on earlier this week that he was hired as a stage manager at Raleigh Studios, helping produce commercials. Yeah, I might review Malibu Hot Summer. That's a good call, Droopy Dog. Helping produce commercials and low budget projects while pursuing his acting career. After assisting a group of electricians on a production, Costner said that they offered him cocaine to show their appreciation. So yeah, he's just helping out the electricians. Says cool. And then they gave him some cocaine. Quote from Costner: "At one point, they take me back into the grip room and say, 'Here.' And they put out a little line of coke and they say, 'Thanks for all the shit you're doing for us,'" he added. Cool, man. Sounds like a great day on set. You're hanging out with the grips. Seems like you've had a good time. You're an assistant. You're working your way up there. And they whip out some blow. And it says Costner said that while he tried the drug, he quickly realized it wasn't for him. And his primary focus at the time was to try to save for his first home. Quote, "So I do that and nothing. And I do it a second time. And I do it a third time," Costner says. "And finally I said to them, 'Hey, look, how much is that?' And the other guy says, 'Well, that's about $20 right there.' Costner says back, 'All right, can I say something to you?' Other key grip man says, 'Yeah, fuck yeah, of course, man. What do you got?' Costner says, 'I said, look, man, I'm trying to buy my first house. If you think what I'm doing here is cool, I could use $20. I could take a 20. And then I was out of the club immediately." Apparently, Costner's request for payment over substance-based remuneration, substance-based, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Remuneration, did not go well, and his connection with the grips ended as quickly as it began. So that's tough, man. Your buddies just wanted you to do some blow. They were trying to show some appreciation. And Costner really kind of harshed their buzz there because that's their love language. Cocaine, that's the love language of a grip. I said, these guys are just electricians. They're trying to show you some love, man. Okay? They don't fucking have cash. They blew all their GD cash on cocaine. That's their cocaine. They're cutting you in on their stash of cocaine, Costner. Asshat. So yeah, he's like, "Hey, I just did $20 of cocaine. Next time, why don't you just give me $20?" I would have kicked that guy's ass. No offense, but like, hey, kids, don't do drugs. But also, in the event that you're offered drugs, don't do them and then ask for another $20. That's not really going to help out. Or to say like, hey, next time, don't even offer me your blow, buddy. Just give me the $20. So I'm like, this is my Kevin Costner dilemma. I can't tell if I love the guy or if he's just a total ass that I would hate if I met him. So, like, I respect him and support him, but I also think he might just be terrible. Ugh. So then he goes on to say, "I saw myself excluded because I didn't want to do this." And then here it is. "It was kind of lucky for me that I didn't like coke. There was nothing there for me." And he's right. There's no reason you should get caught up in the coke game. Absolutely. Especially as a Hollywood actor in the early 80s. Probably not going to serve your career super well. So I don't think he was in the wrong. Yeah, never meet your heroes. Exactly. I don't think he was in the wrong here. But the way he approached it, And now how he's talking about it in a very like high and mighty type way, it's tough for me to enjoy Costner right now. He's also a very divorced man. Um, and that's fine. But I don't think he's been particularly nice. I don't know that his ex-wife's very nice either, though. So I did not watch the TMZ in-depth coverage about the Costner divorce. I know they did air that a few months back. But anyway, so yeah, those are my stories this week about Costner. There was one other one where it said he refused to shorten his eulogy at Whitney Houston's funeral, which led me to believe the same thing. And yeah, I mean, I'll pull it up real quick. Sorry, it's only 3:01. We got 5 more minutes before people even start getting on the air over at the other place. Costner, Whitney Houston eulogy. So yeah, it was essentially he refused to shorten it, and now Kevin Costner recalls his Whitney Houston eulogy right there. Ass. I don't need you to talk about your eulogy and how somebody asked you to do something and about how then you told them no. It seems like that's a lot of what he's trying to appeal to. It's like these drug heads, these zip addicts tried to get me to do their blow, and I was like, no way, man. I'm trying to save for a house. And like, all right, cool, man. And then CBS News. Kevin Costner said he refused to shorten his 17-minute eulogy for Whitney Houston. Quote, I was her imaginary bodyguard. He's clearly just trying to sell tickets to this thing. The more he talks, it might be like Jerry Seinfeld, where it just gets worse. Where I'm like, Seinfeld, just stop the press tour, stop everything you're saying. You're just making everything worse for yourself. Last thing I saw Seinfeld say was that he wanted to return to the era of dominant masculinity and the return of real men like Hugh Grant. It's exciting. It was an exciting story, to say the least. Said he saw. Let me try to get into this. Costner spoke about the eulogy for the late singer, same podcast. Good Lord. So people just go listen to this Dak Shepard podcast and then cut up stories, I guess. That's fine. He told Houston she couldn't have an entourage. Yeah. Just get to the funeral part. I want to see where he's talking about it. I mean, I guess they're asking him questions, but 120 Paris stayed friends until Houston's death from an accidental drowning. Houston ravaged by drug abuse. Yeah. Okay, finally. But the eulogy almost hit a snag when he heard that CNN, those monsters. That's what I imagine. I feel like he might be appealing to middle America in a particular demo, maybe. I don't know. CNN, which was broadcasting the funeral, wanted speakers to keep the remarks short due to commercial breaks. And I said, quote, they can get over that. Quote, they can play the commercial while I'm talking. I don't care. But I've come here when I didn't want, I didn't want to do 2 minutes. The eulogy, he said, was 17 minutes long. And you said everything, Shepard asked, that I felt I needed to say, Costner replied. So, gosh, the more he talks, the more I hate him. That's what sucks. I love Tin Cup so much, but I don't know about this. All right, well, that's my Kevin Costner dilemma. I think I'm going to come down on the side of I don't think I would be friends with Kevin Costner. I don't think he would want to be friends. Sorry, I take it back. I don't think Kevin Costner would want to be friends with me. I think if I got in the same room with Kevin Costner every day for a month, he would still come back and say, Steve, I don't really like you. I don't want to be your friend. That's just kind of the vibe I get off of Kevin Costner. So I think that's how I'm going to fall on this, is that I don't think I like Kevin Costner because I don't think he would like me. So I respect what he's doing for the movie industry. I love that he's nutting up and putting all his own money out there. I love that he kind of doesn't give a crap if this bombs at the box office. Do you still have his picture up on the wall behind you? I do. I could take it down and hold it up. I mean, I could kill my background. My background's real messy right now, though. That's why I've got the fake photo on. But yes, I do have a picture of Kevin Costner behind me on the wall. I can verify. So that's it. He's a great performer. I love him in some stuff. Field of Dreams raised me. If you build it, some guy's going to come. I still don't understand the movie. It's not a porn. It's nothing like this over here. Nothing like Malibu Hot Summer, which I am definitely going to be renting here in just a few minutes. All right. Yeah, I'm going to bounce out of here. Go check out the other shows on whatever that station is. I'm not going to say the name of it. There's a point in it now, and there's a whole nother thing. But anyway, I'm going to go listen to that show and maybe watch some Malibu Hot Summer later. Thanks for joining in. Later, cats.